Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're checking out CYBERPUNK Dead Boy by Finana, Claude, Shu, Meloco, and Kotoka. This is a cover from NijiSanJi. A lot of you have been recommending, so let's just jump in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, a lot of suppression. Okay. Just getting right into it. Catchy riff here. Nice. I like how his voice is mixed there. I really like how his voice was mixed there. Nice. A lot of bass in. Nice. All right. Lifting away from those bass tones. Coming back in. Nice. 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 All right. There's a lot of buzzing on that synth. On the synths we are using here for this. I'm not sure. I don't think those are the best synths for this, but overall, I mean, they're not really the focus, and they're not too obstructive. They're just kind of there as a support. And also for the aesthetic, really. I'm not a big fan of vocal suppression, as I'm sure many of you know, as well as just vocal effects in general. Aside from like reverb or echo, I feel like they usually tend to be obstructive. But this, I feel like this is pretty tasteful overall. I think the intro was a little bit harsh, but like at the very beginning. But overall, this doesn't feel too obstructive, and it's very thematic, right? It's very much leaning into the aesthetic. I really like how their voices match. Like, I really like this lineup here. We've got some really nice coverage of just every spectrum for our mix here. We've got some really solid lower vocalists with the guys here, and very clean vocals as well. I'm really liking how clean and how open the projection is. It's very addicting to hear. And then I believe it's Finana, I'm not sure, it could be one of the other girls as well, who's up higher and kind of adding in these little these short little lines that kind of add this like treble flourish to the mix. That sounds very it's very fulfilling towards the mix when you have those little like treble flourishes, because you don't really notice it when it's not there necessarily, but when you add it there, it adds this flavor to the entire production, really. Yeah, this is a really nice lineup of vocalists we've got here. Nice. All right, little guitar breakdown here. All right, some clapping rhythm as well. All right, some thematic suppression. Okay. Nice. Nice. I like those keys there. That was I really like that addition of keys there. That was, especially because we're going in between, like we just came out of that suppression, right? And so we're going into this clean vocal, and then we're adding this acoustic element as well with the keys. That's this big juxtaposition towards these very harsh digital tones we're getting, right? From a very harsh suppression, as well as the synth that's got this like buzz to it. It's constantly there. It's adding this degree of like grit to the entirety of the mix. So when we have those softer keys, those acoustic voices, it's very It's a very sweet duality to hear, and it really stands out in the mix. I really like those keys jumping up high there. Okay. That was a nice second. Okay. Interesting. Huh. A lot of reverb there. Did we get quieter? Is that just me, or did we get quieter for the lift there? That sounds odd to me. I feel like that should be louder. Yeah, because the reverb is getting to there, right? We have the reverb reaching that volume where we were before, but it feels like we've gotten, as like a group, it feels like we've gotten a little quieter on the transition, which is odd to me. But it sounds very cohesive, but it feels weird that we got like quieter. I feel like that should have a bigger impact right there. They sound great though. Auto reverb. Nice. Nice. Okay. Delayed impact, sure. Treble impact is interesting. That's actually a very interesting impact there. We had a treble like bloom in the mix upon that delayed impact. Nice support up high. Interesting. Is that like a brass synth? Maybe just brass keyboard. Nice. All right. All right. Just lean into the instrumentation here. Ooh, nice bass there. I like that bass outro. All right, that was Cyberpunk Dead Boy by Finana, Claude, Shu, Meloco, and Kotoka. Now, that was really awesome. I really enjoyed this. I could see why a lot of you recommended that I check this out. They have a really nice lineup of voices. I was especially I believe there's a Shu here. I think this is Shu here and Claude. They really got the spotlight. They definitely got the spotlight for this one. I think it was Kotoka as well who got a pretty nice line earlier. It might have been with Claude, I think. I'm not sure if this is the yeah, I think it was here. We just kind of have this like slowdown part here. I like how their voices matched up there. I think that's Kotoka with Claude there. But I really like how I feel like the guys were really nicely mixed. I feel like they were unusually like stellar in just the way their voices were mixed in this track here. It was super clean. It felt like uber studio quality. Like, I mean, super clean vocals from them. I liked the higher vocals we got from Finana as well. Though I do feel like we had a little more effect on them. I think they weren't as clean in the mix. Like they sounded like fine, like for recording wise. I just think that the mix was putting like too much effect on them for their role in the song. I feel like as like a treble juxtaposition to the lower vocalists, you want it to be a little more clean, because when you add that effect, not only does it kind of make it feel a little obstructed, obviously, but it also kind of brings it it almost brings it down in perception, at least in my opinion. I feel like And I don't mean bring it down like I mean bring it down in pitch almost, and it's technically still up high, but I feel like when you add that effect, it doesn't feel as clear and piercing as like just a clean high vocal would. So I feel like the only effect you can really get to amplify those higher vocals is some sort of like reverb or echo, which we did actually use. We did actually use that going whereas I believe the last chorus, I think we used that. We really leaned into that treble expansion, right? I think I even commented on it, like we used a lot of reverb. I'm not sure if I can find the exact part. All right, that wasn't exactly the part I was talking about with the reverb on the treble, but it was the treble expansion, right? That was the last chorus where we kind of leaned in more into those treble tones. We had this kind of like a brass-esque. I'm not sure if those were. I don't think those were like recorded brass. I think they were like brass, like a brass synth, or like a, I suppose, a synth emulation of a brass section, or it was like a keyboard. Not too sure. It could have been recorded. Could have been. I'm just not too sure. But we kind of used that to lean into more of this treble expansion as the last chorus, which it really helps. I feel like it helps a lot more for dynamic progression of a song overall than a bass expansion would have, especially since we had a lot of strong bass tones, especially towards like the beginning half of the song. I think it makes a lot of sense to lean up more high. And overall, I mean, there were some really nice it's just accompaniments to the vocals here. I mean, we had some really nice spotlights for the vocalists. I don't remember if I don't think we got like a big section for Meloco here. I think that's Meloco. I hope that's Meloco. I'm not remembering wrong. But I don't remember having any like big sections for her. I feel like she was almost maybe we got something here, but I feel like she was almost always on like an accompaniment role. Yeah, like I think I can hear her up high if that's her. I'm not sure if that's Finana, but all right, maybe Kotoka. Yeah, because I feel like I remember she had a voice that was a little more like she kind of leaned into the emotion. She had like a lot of projection, but she would have like this constriction or breathiness towards the end of her lines. From what I remember, I believe we heard her like Shanti cover or something. We heard some cover from Meloco where I feel like I remember that. So I think I hear her in the back, but I didn't really notice her in any forefront lines. If she was in one, feel free to like timestamp it or something, or just tell me in the comment section. But I didn't really notice a section for her. But I feel like everyone else had some spotlights on them. I think mainly like the most was on Claude and Shu. I feel like they had so many really well done lines, and I feel like there was a lot of spotlight on them as well. I really love how they sounded in this. This was a really nice. I don't think we've heard too much from Claude. Maybe only like one or two either covers or projects from Claude. So we'll have to see if he's got any other stuff that we can check out. And Shu, I believe, I've only heard like one or two things from Shu aside from his like group stuff. So we'll have to check him out as well. I remember one of you had told me about Shu, like he had only had like one cover at the time when he had checked it out. From what I remember, it's been a while. So yeah, I really like this lineup. I think they sounded really good together, and I'm glad you guys recommended that I check this out because this is a super solid cover. I had like a couple nitpicks here and there, right? But overall, this was super fun. Really awesome project. The only like negatives I think I can really say are like we didn't need quite as much obstruction, especially on the higher vocals, and especially on those like beginning towards that intro was a little bit jarring. But I get you want to like pay homage to the aesthetic of the original, right? As well as the aesthetic of your cover. And then aside from that, I think a couple of the synths, mainly that like buzzing synth that's kind of used as like kind of the space support. I would have liked a little bit more of like a sort of cohesive synth that would kind of blend into the tracks. But overall, I think mainly for that last chorus, it was pretty perfect because it created this juxtaposition from the other choruses to that last chorus, where we had that last chorus that was a lot more cohesive, a lot more smooth, and almost like cheerful compared to the others. So it created this really nice dynamic progression over the entirety of the song. But as just like the audio aesthetic for individual parts, I do think that bass synth could have been replaced with a smoother sound. But aside from that, I mean, this was a really, really awesome cover. Thank you very much for recommending that I check this out. And as always, if you recommend more things for me to check out in the comments below. Aside from that, I will see you all next time. Thank you so much.